Hello student, today we are going to study ways and means of consumer protection. That means what are the different ways of protecting consumers from the exploitation of a businessman. First is Lok Adalat, which is also known as People's Court, which is established by the government to settle the dispute by compromise. It is very effective and economical way to settle the cases. If there is any court case pending, that case can be settled in Lok Adalat quickly, and whatever decision is taken in Lok Adalat, that is statutory under Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. That means decisions are final and they are binding on all the parties. Camps of Lok Adalats were initially started in Gujarat in March 1982, and now it has been extended throughout the country. Example of Lok Adalat is MCEDSL, MSRTC, Railway Authority, insurance companies, banks, etc. They organize regular Lok Adalat. Second, public interest litigation, Janhit Yachika. Public interest litigation is also called as PIL. It means legal action initiated in the court of law regarding the matter of general public interest. Suppose in your area some kind of problem is there which is harming general people like pollution or constructional hazards, road safety, drugs, etc. So these things are actually harming all the people in the society. So anybody can file a PIL in the court. Anybody can approach court of law in the interest of the society. It aims to provide legal remedy to unrepresented groups of society. So the party which is not directly related to the grievances can also file case in the interest of public. The first reported case of PIL was Hussain Ara Khatun versus State of Bihar in 1979 that focused on inhuman conditions of prisons and under trial prisoners that led to release of more than 40,000 under trial prisoners. Right to speedy justice emerged as a basic fundamental right which had been denied to these prisoners. The same set of pattern was adopted in subsequent cases. Third, redressal forums. Under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, a system has been set up to deal with the consumer grievances and dispute at district, state and national level. So any individual consumer or association of consumer can file a complaint with respect to commission depending on the value of goods and claim for compensation. Further detail I am going to upload next video in which you can see details of redressal forum. Now main aim of this commission is to provide for simple, speedy and inexpensive redressal of consumer grievances. As per the Act, Consumer Protection Council at district, state and national level can be set up for promotion and protection of rights of consumer. Fourth, awareness program. Consumer awareness is an act of making sure that the buyer or consumer is aware of the information about the product, goods, services and consumer rights. So to increase the awareness among consumer, Government of India has initiated various publicity measures. State and central government regularly publishes journals, brochures, booklets, various posters depicting the rights and responsibility of consumers, redressal machineries, etc. Jago Grahak Jago is one of the example of awareness program initiated by the government. Various ads are played on TV to show rights of consumers. 15th March is observed as International Consumer Rights Day and 24 December is observed as National Consumer Day. These days are celebrated to make consumer more aware of their rights. Fifth, consumer organization. Consumer organizations are advocacy group that seeks to protect people from corporate abuse like unsafe products, false advertising, companies creating pollutions, etc. Consumer organization may operate via protest, campaigning, lobbying, etc. The aim of consumer organization is to establish and to attempt to enforce consumer rights. Example of consumer organization are Akhil Bharatiya Grahak Panchayat, Consumer Guidance Society of India, All India Consumer Protection Organization, the Consumers Eye India, etc. Some of the activities of consumer organization are like conducting seminar and discussion on important consumer issues, conducting consumer empowerment seminars, raising voices against unfair services of doctors, hospitals, medical treatments, raising voice against unfair services of telecom services, against unfair practices of education institution, etc. Consumer Welfare Fund (CWF). Department of Consumer Affairs have created Consumer Welfare Fund for providing financial assistance to strengthen the voluntary consumer movement, particularly in rural area. This fund is used for training and research in consumer education, complaint handling, counseling, guidance mechanism, product testing lab, and so on. For example, if there is adulterated milk in particular area, so there is a need for testing it in lab. So this work is done with the help of fund provided by Consumer Welfare Fund. In order to promote consumer movement throughout the country, fund is required. So for this, Consumer Welfare Fund is used. Setting up of product testing laboratories, undertaking product testing for quality assurance of safety. For this also, Consumer Welfare Fund is used. Then creation of centers of excellence in institutions, universities of repute to foster research, teaching and training on consumer related issues. Other example is like government body for undertaking research study, impact assessment study relating to consumer issues. Seventh, legislative measures. The number of laws have been enacted in India to safeguard the interest of consumers and protect them from unethical practices of businessmen. Some of these laws are Sales of Goods Act 1930, Essential Commodities Act 1955, Standard of Weights and Measurement Act 1956, Bureau of Indian Standard Act 1969, Food Safety and Standard Act 2006, National Food Security Act 2013. And there are also a number of laws to safeguard the interest of consumer, but these acts could not provide complete and fair justice to consumer. Therefore, an exclusive act has been educated in the form of Consumer Protection Act 2019. On this topic, I'm going to make video which you will see next.